This video is about the autumn feeding that I'm starting, and as I said in the blog, there are a huge number of different types of feeder that you can use, and I seem to have three types. The ones I use most of are these things called rapid feeders, and it works on the principles. This sits on top of the hive, as we'll see later. The bees can go up through this hole here. They then come up through here. The syrup is all the way around here, and then they come down and help themselves. Now, if it was left just like that, they'd drown themselves. So that is put over just so that they can only get down the other side of the central cone. This thing is slightly off the bottom so that the syrup is easily get-atable. So that sits on top of the hive. This sits on top of it to stop other bees and insects and things getting in. So when you need to fill up the feeder, it's a fairly simple task. You just take the roof off, take that off, more syrup, job done. Right, this sort here, this sort of tray feeder, I think it's called an English feeder, but it works on pretty much the same principle. Along here is a slot, so the bees come up through there. They then, so they've come up through this slot, they come up over this ridge and down, and the syrup is in this reservoir here. And there is a little wall thing there, hopefully to stop them drowning themselves. And again, it's simple to feed them, to fill them up rather. You don't need to disturb the bees in any way. You just lift this up, fill it up, bosh, and it's done. The third type that I've got are these things called Ashford feeders, which are about 50 quid if you buy them from Thorns. I've got two, and they both work on basically the same principle as the English one, in that there is a slot along here. They then come up, let's take this off. They come up through this slot, over the top, down into here, and there are some grooves in here, so the syrup's in this box. The syrup gets through underneath the wooden bit and through the grooves here. The bees can help themselves, again, hopefully without drowning. Has a little perspex screen on top there, so you can actually see what's going on. And again, this is fairly simple to fill up. Don't need to disturb the bees anyway. Just fill this up and let them get on with it. So that's what we're going to do. And I'll just turn the video off now and get the camera set up. As well as setting up the feeding, the other thing I'm going to do at the same time is to put the second tray of Apigard, the Varroa treatment. The first one went in 2 weeks ago, so it's time to be changed. So we'll do that as well. Off comes the roof, crown board. That looks good. I will just give them a very slight puff just to keep them disinterested in me. Away they go. All stuck down properly, so that's what this stuff is here, and not much left in there, and it's dry. So in goes the second one. What am I doing now? Yep, the crown board goes back on top. Port escape in there. Feeder goes on top, so the bees can come out through here and come up through there. Come up and over. That just goes on top, stops them from drowning, hopefully. and over behind the camera I've got a 25 litre, gallon, kilo, I don't know, big drum of syrup that I've made up, 2 to 1, 2 pounds of sugar to 1 pint of water, and all of them are going to get 3 pints to start them off with. Little earwig having a swim, not really a good idea. So that goes back on top. Another eek goes on, so the roof doesn't have to sit on the top. In fact, it's broken, but never mind. So, roof goes on, and that's it. Now just leave them, see how they get on with it. At some point I'm going to just go around and make sure that all the little shims are working so I can weigh them properly, and I will just now start feeding them till, I don't know, October time, something like that. And yesterday I ordered the blocks of fondant, which is what they're going to need for winter when they don't want this watery stuff. They need something a bit more solid. So that's it for the time being.